Today we are going to discuss about the balance of payment. The balance of payment. The balance of payment means a statement showing all monetary transactions between a country and the rest of the world. In other words, we can say that it is a systematic record of all economic transactions between the residents of a country and the rest of the world in a given period. It is known as the balance of payment. A country has to deal with other countries in respect of three. First one is trading goods, trading services, and the capital transfers, which are concerned with capital receipts and capital payments. And here the transactions are classified into two: current account and the capital account transactions. The current account includes transactions in goods and services, investment income and current transfers, while the capital account mainly includes transactions in financial instruments. And it is prepared in domestic currency, which is always in single currency, and it adopts a double entry bookkeeping system, which means it has two sides, credit side and debit side. Receipts are recorded on the credit side and the payments are recorded on the debit side, and it must balance. And it is a basic principle of balance of payment that the balance of payment account should balance, and which is known as equilibrium position of the balance of payment. Elements in the balance of payment accounting process involve: first, we have to identify what is an international economic transaction. Then we have to understand how the flow of goods, services, assets and money creates debit and credit to the overall POP. And third, understanding the bookkeeping procedures for balance of payment accounting, called as double entry. Next, the components of balance of payment. These are the major components: current account, capital account, official reserve, and etc. The first one is the current account. Current account includes the merchandise trade, which means trading goods, invisible trade, trading services, income, which means the net investments, and the current transfers. The transfers such as between countries, transfers between countries, etc. And these are the four items which are included in the current account. And here the difference between exports and imports is known as the balance of trade. Balance of trade is equal to the amount of goods and services exported minus the amount of goods and services imported, known as the balance of trade. And the capital account balance equal to the balance of trade, balance of trade. And to find the balance of trade, export minus import, and the capital balance account, the balance of trade should be equal to the capital account balance. And export exceeds import, it is known as trade surplus, and when import exceeds export, it is known as trade deficit. Then the capital account. Capital account includes the transfer of financial assets and acquisition and disposal of non-financial assets. And the financial account is a subdivision of the capital account. And financial account is divided into three: direct investment, portfolio investment, and other investment. Direct investment includes the net balance of capital paid out of and into a country for the purpose of exercising control over assets. And it is the net balance of the capital paid and received for getting control over the assets. And the portfolio investment means it is the net balance, the difference between the capital flowed into in and out of a country. And thus the limit is 10% ownership threshold of that investment. There are other investments and liabilities. This category includes various short-term and long-term credits, cross-border loans from all types of financial institutions, currency deposits, bank deposits, and other accounts receivable and payable related to cross-border trade. These are included in the financial account. Then official reserves account. It is a subdivision of the capital account, and it is a foreign currency and securities held by the government, usually by central bank, and it is used to balance the payment from year to year. The official reserve increases when there is trade surplus and decreases when there is trade deficit. Sometimes the central bank will use it to intervene in the foreign exchange market to set the exchange rate to some objective. Then errors and omissions. These are entries which are related mainly to leads and lags in reporting of transactions. It is a balancing entry and it is needed to offset the overstated or understated components. That's the errors and omissions we have to adjust to get the balance of payment position. Format of BOP. Format of BOP. And the current account and the capital account should balance because every transaction is recorded as both a credit and a debit. Double entry system, we all know that for each debit there will be corresponding credit. So it should be equalized. And when we add the current account with the capital account, it should be 0, which means the equilibrium position of the balance of payment. The disequilibrium may be surplus or deficit, and if there is surplus disequilibrium, which means receipts exceeds payment, it is favorable, and when it has happened when BOP equal to credit greater than debit. And in case of deficit equilibrium, vice versa, debit greater than credit, and when payment exceeds receipts, it shows the unfavorable balance. Causes of disequilibrium. The first reason is high population growth. As there is high population growth, to meet their needs, imports become very essential, and when population increases, the quantity of import may also increase. The second one is development program. So, for the purpose of the economic development, the developing countries have to conduct many development programs which requires importing more capital goods, some raw materials, etc., which are not available at home and home market. So such development is very essential for a developing nation. So import of these items, when it continues for a long time, which makes these countries in a balance of payments deficit. Then the demonstration effect. Sometimes people in the less developed countries may try to imitate the consumption patterns of the people in the developed nation. So their import will increase, which cause a disequilibrium in the balance of payments. Then natural causes. Due to the natural calamities, the countries may have to import more than export. Export may decline and they have to purchase more raw materials or other products from other countries. So it will also cause disequilibrium in the balance of payment position. Cyclical fluctuations. The balance of payment position is also affected by the trade cycle. In different period, the company or the businesses will respond to it in different manner. So the cyclical fluctuations of this of the trade cycle will affect the balance of payment. Then next is inflation. Inflation causes increase in imports and reduced exports, which results in deficit in balance of payment position. Then for market strategies, the superior marketing of the developed countries have increased their surplus, and the developing nations may not have such such superior marketing strategies. So, developed countries may export goods to the developing nations, and developing nations could not withstand with their marketing strategy. The next one is flight of capital. Sometimes the capital movements adversely affect the balance of payments. Then globalization. Globalization is another reason which causes disequilibrium. Due to globalization, there is open economy in which promotes international movement of goods, services and capital, and the competition is very intense here, and due to that it may occur disequilibrium in balance of payment position. Types of disequilibrium. The first one is cyclical disequilibrium. It happens on account of trade cycle. Due to fluctuations in business cycle in a country, it will cause disequilibrium in the balance of payment position. It's mainly due to the cyclical changes in income, employment, output and price variables, etc. And due to fluctuations in business cycle in a country, the value of imports of consumer goods and the consumer goods go up or down periodically, both which lead to disequilibrium in balance of payment. The next one is the structural disequilibrium. It happens due to structural changes occurring in some sectors of the economy at home or abroad, which may alter the demand or supply conditions of the country. And it is caused because of the fluctuations in the demand based on changes in taste, fashion, habit, income, economic progress, etc. The next one is short-term disequilibrium, which is also known as the temporary disequilibrium. Here, when a country borrows or lends internationally, it will have short-term disequilibrium, as these are usually for short periods. And the next one is long-run disequilibrium, which is known as secular disequilibrium. When an economy undergoes intensive changes, it causes secular or long-term disequilibrium in the balance of payment position. It is much deep-rooted, persistent disequilibrium in the balance of payment of the country. So these are the four types of disequilibrium: cyclical, structural, short-run, which is also known as secular, and temporary, and the long-term disequilibrium, which is also known as secular disequilibrium. And the corrective measures, monetary measures as well as non-monetary measures. Non-monetary measures include monetary policy, exchange rate depreciation, devaluation, inflation, and exchange control. And non-monetary measures include export promotion, import substitutes, and import controls. India's balance of payment position. The Economic Survey 1920 expressed satisfaction that India's external sector has gained further stability in the first half of 2019-20 with an improvement of balance of payment position. It's mainly due to capital flows through FDI, PI, and ECB. And the balance of payment position improved to USD 433.7 billion by September 2019 from USD 412.9 billion of foreign exchange reserves in March 2019. And the current account deficit (CAD) narrowed down to 1.5% of GDP the first half of 2019-20 from 2.1% of 2018-19. The survey noted that the merchandise exports to GDP ratio declined to 11.3% due to weakened global demand, which brought many trade tensions in the year 2019-20. Petroleum, oil and lubricants, precious stones, drug formulations, gold and other precious metals continue to be the top exported commodity. And the largest export destination is the USA, followed by UAE, China, and Hong Kong. Merchandise imports to GDP ratio also declined, and which shows a positive impact on the BOP position. This is because of the large presence of crude oil, and the share of gold imports, another component of import basket, has remained stable during this time. And crude, petroleum, gold, petroleum products, etc. are the top import items. India's imports to continue to be largest from China, followed by USA, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, etc. Trade facilitation, India has improved its ranking from 143 in 2016 to 68 in 2019 under the indicator trading across borders, monitored by World Bank in determining the overall ranking of around 190 countries in its ease of doing business with it. And in a recently released UN Global Survey on Digital and Sustainable Trade Facilitation 2019, India not only improved its overall trade facilitation score from 69% to 80%, but also outperformed other countries in the Asia Pacific and Southeast Asia region. So we can say that India's position is gradually improving.